What's going on, everyone? I am TheOPJellicent, and I have week number 1 of season number 4 of the Western Pokemon League against the New England Latios, coached by Tapu Oko. Now, in case you guys are new and did not follow last season, we are in fact the reigning champions of this league, and of course we are the commissioner, so I want to keep it alive, and I also want to try to defend my title, so definitely make sure to subscribe down below. If you want to follow your Aggrons through the WPL this season, it would also help me out a ton, so that would be greatly appreciated. But either way, we're definitely looking up to pick up some momentum week 1, maybe get a win. That would be really nice to start off, because in case you guys didn't follow the draft, we did in fact do a free draft this season, much like the GBA. So a lot of teams have a lot bigger threats, so precking is not as easy. As you guys can see, we have 4 tier 1s on this team right now, and then 2 tier 2s, what would normally be in the point system. So a ton of big threats this season, so it's going to be a lot harder to prep. Matchups are going to be a lot more tougher, so I would definitely make sure you subscribe to follow the Aggrons and see if you can pull through again. But that being said, also make sure to check out my opponent this week, Tapu Oko, coach of the New England Latios. But let's get right into the matchup right here. I do have Scarfed Kyurem Black, which can really put a lot of hurt into his team if I can knock off Porygon 2's Eviolite, as well as weaken Magearna into range of the Scarf Outrage. If it's offensive, I will be doing 40% to it with Outrage, so that's about the range that I want to get it to it. I also have to be careful of potential Scarfed Salamence, because if it is Scarfed, it will check my Kyurem Black. Dragon Claw will not Oko, but Outrage will, and I actually do not have a good Outrage resist on this team. I do have Defensive Donphan, however, with a Rocky Helmet, which can not avoid the being 2-hit KO'd. It has Ice Shard for the Salamence, and I can get up free rocks on that if it locks itself into it. That being said, I do not have the best response for Heliolisk. It can Hyper Voice this, and it can just Volt Switch around my team. I do have Raikou to switch in quite well. I do have some special defense investment on that, so that would be really cool if I can get that in. I am Subcom Mind, so I want to be wary of the Hyper Voice, however, because Hyper Voice will go through our sub, and if he has Specs, it will 2-hit KO despite our special defense investment. Other than that, I'm not really too worried about the rest of his team. Sacred Fire from Entei is scary, but it doesn't 2-hit KO Donphan, and I do have Assault Vest Tornadus to handle the Mega Alakazam, and I do have Knockoff to knock off the Porygon 2's Eviolite, which will make it so that Kyurem Black and Raikou and Reuniclus have a much easier time with that. And of course, Calm Mind Recover Reuniclus will just put in a lot of work late game if we can set up with that thing. But let's get right up into the match right here. I end up leading with my Tornadus, just going for U-turn, because it will provide momentum. This is really the only switch he had, so in hindsight I could have clicked Knockoff. It would have hit the Alakazam as well, and potentially knocked off an Assault Vest from the Magearna, or if that's offensive, it could get rid of a Choice Specs or Life Orb. But I do decide to go right for the U-turn, which is not a bad play at all. It gives me momentum right into Terrakion. Terrakion will Oko that Mon despite the Eviolite, but I do get a clean chunk into the Magearna, telling me it's either offensive or Assault Vest. Defensive Magearna would not make a lot of sense anyway. Here he brings out his Alakazam. Despite me being able to get a ton of damage off with the Scarfed Close Combat, I do not want to lose my Alakazam that early in the match. So I go right out into my response to the Alakazam, which is my Assault Vest Tornadus. And once again, he's deciding to make this Porygon play when I could just click Air Slash and then knock him off right after, so it's a little bit interesting, but then again, he doesn't really have a much better switch in than that. And here I get right in my Raikou. I go for the Thunderbolt. I actually end up getting a crit, but as you guys are going to see, he gets up a substitute anyway, but it's not going to end up mattering, that crit, because his substitute would have made it so that the third Thunderbolt would kill him right here anyway. That Stone Edge miss, however, did hurt, because now I'm managing to Calm Mind up. My idea there was to Calm Mind up and then Thunderbolt. It would be a little bit risky if he was Scarf Salamence, because he will be able to break my sub, but we're in a really good spot here to Calm Mind up 3 times. Ice Beam is not going to be able to break our sub, and now I will be able to get rid of this Porygon 2 with my Raikou. Ice Beam is going to break the sub, and I believe I fire off the Thunderbolt right away, right? Nope, I go right for Substitute again, which is the correct play because that Porygon cannot break my sub. Extreme Speed, however, will break my sub, and now he doesn't really have the best response. He has to be either Scarf Salamence, because Heliolisk will not do a lot. Brings out Salamence, and he is Scarf, but we actually end up living the Earthquake. It turns out he was not any boosting nature. He was not like Groundium Z, obviously, and he was not Life Orb. He was Scarf, and with max attack, he actually did 87 to 104, and as you guys saw right there, he literally got the minimum roll, because if he got any roll higher, he would have knocked me out. But my hidden power is going to be able to clean that thing up now, so this is looking really great for us. We are up 6-3, and he doesn't have a lot to touch this, but Psychic is going to come out, obviously, despite us being at +3, that will knock us out. But Tornadus is a really great response to this every time. I believe I go right for knockoff here, and then now this thing is in range of the Air Slash, so I can just knock it out with that. And he has to go Heliolisk here, because Alakazam is not going to be able to 2-hit KO me. Heliolisk is going to come out. He can Volt Switch if he wishes to do that, as he is going to opt to do that, since it's the best play. He can bring out Mega Alakazam. It could technically have the Focus Blast, but we are Scarfed, so Outrage pretty much wins the game right here. Mega Alakazam is not taking an Outrage by any means. It's the frailest Pokemon next to like Weavile or something. And Outrage is going to be able to kill the Heliolisk as well. So, really nice week 1 for us. We managed to pick up some Pokemon on the MVP list, like Kyurem Black here getting 2 kills, as well as Raikou getting 2 kills, and then I believe Tornadus and Terrakion got the other 2 kills with Air Slash and Close Combat, respectively. So really nice week 1, we end up getting a 5-0 victory. We're actually tied for number 1 on the power rankings. I'm not going to say with who, because I don't want to spoil other matches, but definitely be able to check those other matches out. The WPL Twitter will be down below if you want to check out who we are tied with. All the matches will be tweeted out there. And yeah, just a really solid week 1 for us overall. So once again, definitely be sure to subscribe down below if you want to follow the Aggrons through the rest of this season, as well as the UPC playoffs, which are starting next Saturday. We have our final match of the season going up tomorrow, and then that will be uploaded. So be sure to subscribe, check out the coach of the Latios down below, and I will see you guys next week for the WPL.